Okay, dear friends, in the previous class we had started with the machine-to-machine technology of the IoT, right? What exactly we mean by machine-to-machine technology in IoT? So now, whenever we talk about the machine-to-machine technology, the first difference which we have clearly understood from our previous discussion is that whenever you speak about the machine-to-machine communication or machine-to-machine technology, it is basically for the purpose of coordination, monitoring, and controlling purpose. Okay, so you can see here coordination, monitoring, and controlling purpose. Now, let us say that I have some machine. I have one machine here, something like this, right? Now there is one more machine here, right? So one simple example could be here in this case is the communication which is taking place between two mobile phones without making use of the internet. I repeat, the communication which takes place between two mobile phones without making use of the internet. You know how exactly these communications take place, right? So you can transfer some files from one mobile to another mobile using your Bluetooth or any other kind of the protocols, something like that, right? So that is what is coming here. So you want to communicate these two devices. Similarly, you may have some devices somewhere else. Okay, so this is also a machine and this is also a machine. So these two machines can communicate to each other. So why do you want to make these two machines to communicate to each other? For the purpose of monitoring and controlling, right? And the very important difference which I have already told you in the previous presentation between M2M and IoT is that M2M doesn't generally make use of the internet, or it does not make use of the internet, whereas your IoT, as the name itself suggests, right, it is purely the internet based. Okay, so this is what we had seen in the previous class. Okay, then when you speak about the machine to machine technology to the IoT, now we have already seen some of the layers in your IoT. You started from some physical layer, then you may have some the data link layer, right? Processing and other things take place. Then finally you may have the application. Here you have the application where your data analytics and other things will come into picture for the purpose of the analyzing the data, for the purpose of taking the decision, something like that. Okay, that we have already seen, right? So now when you start moving in this particular direction, so this whole thing will give you a framework of your IoT. So for the time being I have taken only 4 layers here, which we started from your Relay, if you remember correctly, right? So now depending upon the complexity of the in between layers, you can definitely split into 2 here, you can split into 2, and accordingly you may have about 7 layers which you can find it in the case 6 layers or 7 layers which you find in the case of your Oracle model, or even in your IBM model. Okay, so now having said that, this is the IoT. Now where exactly your M2M comes into picture here? Okay, in each layer you can have the M2M. It is not necessary that the M2M is a independent system. Within the different layers that you have in your IoT scenario here, your M2M communication may be required. So therefore M2M sometimes or many a times it acts as the part of your IoT, right? So that's what is represented here. What exactly we mean by M2M to IoT, right? Now you can see here some of the simple examples. Okay, so you have your high-end car for example. Okay, so now when some call comes to your mobile phones, it is possible for you to address or attend the call without picking the mobile phone. You have enabled the Bluetooth of your car as well as you have enabled the Bluetooth of your mobile phone, right? So in that way, what you are trying to do here is you establish the connection between your mobile phone, which is basically in this particular case is a physical device, to your car, Bluetooth or something like that. So from there, it is, or it may be possible for you to connect to higher layers depending upon the requirement. So that is where the Internet of Things as well as the M2M both will come into picture, right? Now, uh, here the examples are written. You can see here the connected cars for safety and infotainment. What do you mean by infotainment? The name itself suggests what is infotainment: information as well as the entertainment. One example I will give you: FM radios, right? FM radio, you listen, right? So you get the entertainment by listening into the songs. Sometimes they give the information also, FM news for example. That is one example of infotainment. But FM radio is not an end application of IoT here. I am not talking about the FM radio as IoT, but I am giving you an example for infotainment. Like that, you can have so many such examples as long as the infotainment is concerned. So you can have the safety purpose also. You have some smart sensors, right, deployed in the car. Whenever there is a hump or whenever there is a hole in the road, right, so you may get some information being the driver. So just try to imagine how exactly these things are materialized. So there, the entire operation, though it is based on the principle of your IoT, but the machine to machine communication is also very, very important, right? So in the different layers, you may have the different machine to machine communication technologies, right? So it is possible for you to have the remote monitorings, right? So basically this subject is an application oriented subject. So you should always appreciate the content of this subject by looking into the various examples that you find in your day-to-day life. Okay, ATMs, point of sale terminal connected to a centralized security, remote monitoring, right? Truck fleet management, and so many things, right? In all these applications, right? So the IoT supported by your M2M communication will come into picture, right? So these are some of the examples. You can definitely have so many such examples when we come to our further discussions. Okay, now when I say that M2M communication, machine to machine communication, right, so what exactly is the communication framework? How do you achieve the communication, right? So here we have different things here, right? One is called as the device hive. Okay, so now what exactly is the meaning of the device hive? It enables the connected devices to the IoT. Okay, web based management software that creates security rules based on the network and monitors the device. So now these are the communication frameworks. Whenever you have two machines, whenever you have got two machines, if at all you want these two machines to communicate each other, they must have certain protocol also, is it not? The communication protocols are also required, because both the machines should be compatible in terms of the protocols that they are following. Now for example, if you want to transfer a small file between two mobile phones, so when you want to transfer files between two mobile phones, suppose if the Bluetooth is the mean of communication or the means of communication, then the both mobile phones should have the support for the Bluetooth, like that, right? So the machine to machine communication is also is guided by certain frameworks. That's what I mean here. Okay, so now if you look here, once the machine to machine architecture is guided by certain frameworks, you must look into the architectural point of view of it, right? So again, I draw the same diagram. You have got one machine here, you have got another machine. Now you try to establish the communication between the two, here where the interface between the two will come into picture, right? So now this is what defines the architecture for this machine to machine communication, right? So what do you mean by the machine to machine communication architecture, right? So here this is based on the conceptual framework which we had defined for the IoT, as a whole. IoT as a whole. So machine to machine communication is a part of the IoT. As I have already told you, it may appear anywhere in the different layers that you have come across, right, in the IoT framework, conceptual framework, right? So now when you have the machine to machine architecture, right, you can see here there are three domains. First one is the architectural point of view, from the architecture from the point of view of the device domain. The second one is from the point of view of the network domain, and from the point of view of the application domain. Now again recall the 4 layers or the 6 layers that we have taken in your Cisco reference model, or even your IBM reference model, or for the matter of simplicity you can take the Relay model also, right? So device domain, where exactly the device comes, you have seen there, the device comes somewhere here, okay. Network, somewhere in between you have the network, then you have the application somewhere here. Am I right? This is where your application comes into picture. Now since I have told you the machine to machine communication may take place here, or it may take place here also, or it may take place here also. Now that decides which architecture is to be followed, whether it is in the, you know, the device domain, whether it is in the network domain, or whether it is in the application domain. All these points are to be looked into, right? So now you look here, this particular diagram shows you the architectural uh, picture, right, of your machine to machine architecture with respect to all the three domains which I have just mentioned here. The first one is you know, the device domain, okay. The second one is the network domain. The third one here is the application domain, okay. So if you look at this diagram, you will come to know now, uh, this is where you have the architectural aspects with respect to the device domain. You have seen a similar diagram earlier also, but let there not be confusion with that diagram and this diagram. That particular diagram we have seen it from the point of view of IoT architecture. This we are seeing it from the point of view of machine to machine communication architecture, right? So now you look here, physical devices and controllers. This is what is your device level. So no need to mention that you have sensors, machines, devices, intelligent edge nodes of different types. The same thing which you have seen earlier, that has come here again, okay. Then you have the communication interface or the connectivity interface, wherein you have the communication and processing units. Edge computing, I have already told you what exactly is the meaning of edge computing while we discussed about the example on the fans, the clusters of fans that are being controlled, right, wherein you have the analysis of the data and the transformation, right. Then you come to the gateway here. After this, okay, you will come to the machine to machine communication. That is, you come to the next layer, that is the network layer. Initially you are here in the device layer, okay, you are here in the device layer. Then you come to the network layer. You now come to the network layer. You come to the network layer, okay. Then you have in the network domain, what are the different things that you are going to have. You can see here M2M server. So now this server, you should not get confused with the server which we use in our internet, because the M2M communication does not make use of the internet. I repeat the thing, right? So server in the sense, these are the internal server for the purpose of inter machinery communication or machine to machine communication. Suppose if you want to have the Bluetooth, right, between the two devices to be connected, so what are the protocols that you are going to have, what are the architectural point of view of the Bluetooth you have, so that you establish the communication between this Bluetooth, one Bluetooth device and another Bluetooth device. All those things come under M2M server. So you have to identify the device, Probably you have done these things, is it not? Whenever you want to transfer a file using the Bluetooth, so you will ask or you will prompt your device to find the nearby device, correct or not, right? So similar to that, the device identity, then device and device network management, the analysis of the data, abstraction of the data, accumulation and management of the data, right? So that means the transfer is over, handshaking before the transfer takes place, in order to make sure that the readiness of the devices before the data is exchanged between the two machines, right? So maybe unicast and multicast message delivery, right? So what do you mean by unicast is the messages which are going only in one direction, right? So multicast, it is like this, right? From one source, right? So the message will be going to the different direction. So unicast means the message will be going from one source to only one destination. This is also possible in your M2M communication, right? So then core functionalities for monitoring, right? So what are the basic things that are required for you to make sure that the data is communicated between two machines by making use of these protocols without making use of the internet? So this is what is, so whenever you want to have something to be communicated, then you would go to the network domain. Okay, so after that you will go to the application, right? Application, in the sense you go to the higher level now, right? So you come to the application layer. Here you come to the application layer, so where you have to make the integration of the data, you have to collaborate the devices, right? So maybe there are certain application services as long as the M2M communications are concerned. As and when some examples come, I will take up those things. It is too early for me to discuss about the application services of M2M communication. So these communications do take place at the application level. So here also you have two devices which communicate with each other. Here also you have two devices which communicate with each other, and here also you have two devices, that is two machines. This is also machine, this is also machine, which you want to establish the communication for the possible data transfer. So this is what is the possible architecture, right, with respect to all the three domains that we have discussed in the basic uh, data layer or the device layer, then in the network layer, followed by the application layer, right? So you generally have a lot of constraints or the bottlenecks in the network layer. Okay, so sometimes your Bluetooth devices appear to be having the Bluetooth facility, but you may not be able to transfer the files even though the two devices are connected because of the change in the protocols between the two devices, or the miscompatible devices. That is also possible, right? So this is about the machine to machine communication in all the three domains, that is the device domain, then network domain, and the application domain. Okay, now let us come to the next aspect, that is okay, these things I have already explained, right? Physical devices and controllers, gateway, then machine to machine device communication domain, this I have already told you. So now this also I have explained, right, what exactly we do in the network domain, right? The server, device, identity, then management, abstraction, accumulation and management of the data, unicast and multicast message delivery, right? Other core functionalities for the monitoring, basically after the connectivity is established, right? The device layer also I have already told you, right? The application layer, the third layer, integration, collaboration, and application services, right? So when I speak that it is application, it could be reporting, analysis, or control of the entire function. Okay, now having said that, now we have seen about the architecture. Okay, we have seen about the machine to machine communication architecture, which lies somewhere here, which lies somewhere here. Okay, then once the architecture is seen, the next thing is that we have to see what are the different protocols, right? Protocols, as I've already told you, a set of rules in order to make sure that the two devices get communicated or get connected for the proper data transfer. Okay, so now we have seen the different types of protocols earlier also when we have spoken about the IoT. Now I am talking about the protocols of the M2M to the IoT, machine to machine communication to the IoT, right? So you have got so many such protocols. For example, your Eclipse, right? Eclipse machine to machine industry working group, which has designed some of the protocols, right? Koneki protocols. These are all the different protocols which are designed by the various service providers. For the time being, let us not go into these details. Very importantly, you have ITU-T, that is the International Telecommunication Union, right? So they are also one of the big pioneers in designing all these protocols, especially for the communication purpose. There are so many other things, right? Weightless. These are all the different service providers or the different vendors, what we can call. I don't know I am using the proper word or not, who define the different protocols as long as the machine to machine communication in IoT is concerned, right? Then this machine to machine communication, where exactly we use, that is also very, very important. Some of the examples I have already told you, right? As long as the machine to machine communication is concerned, coordinated movement of tools, robots and drones, right? Now all these machine to machine communication are with respect to the application in Internet of Things scenario, right? Coordinated movement of tools, robots and drones. So now one example I will give you here, this one, coordinated movement of tools. Can you recall some example here as long as the coordinated movement of the tools is concerned, right? So all of you must have seen this Discovery Channel, you must be watching, right? You have got Discovery Science. Sometimes some mega factories, right? Indian as well as the other countries mega factories are shown there, right? How exactly they function, right? Please make it a habit to watch those things, right? So there you will come to know, you can quickly recall how exactly you will be able to coordinate the movement of the tools, right? So something is being manufactured somewhere, then it is being poured into some tins, then it is sealed. Okay, after that it is made to move over the conveyor belts. So finally they are going into the arena of the packaging, right? So again, once the packaging is over, they are made to put into different crates or something like that, right? So some of the examples you should be able to quickly recall after I mention about these things, right? So how do you have the coordinated movements here, right? How do you have the coordinated movements? It is not necessary and it is not always possible for you to make use of the internet to have this coordinated movements. It is the different protocols that these smart tools or the smart machines that which are making, and accordingly you devise their operation in such a way that all these operations take place with a proper defined sequence. Okay, then only it is possible for you to make sure that these industrial processes are properly realized, right? So you just make it a habit to watch these mega factories and all, you will come to know, right? So they may not be the exact examples which I am mentioning here. I am basically here to mention how exactly it is possible for us to have the coordinated movement of the tools, right? All these things are nowadays made robotic, as you can see, right? Drones you can have the control, right? So as long as the distance is less, it is definitely possible for you to have the control from your end to the drone, right, without making use of the internet. So this is one example of the machine to machine communication in IoT scenario is concerned, right? So then you have the operations with respect to the refineries, right? Sequential control during manufacturing. This is what I have just made the mention about, sequential control of each stage during the manufacturing process, right? Manufacturing of food packets, right? So you can see how exactly this Amul is making use of these type of technologies. There are so many YouTube videos available, right? This is just engineering marvel, right? So you can have uh, the complete sequence of operation without any human intervention, how exactly it is going to take place. So definitely the robotics is engineering marvel nowadays. Okay, so assembly in assembly lines, so how exactly you assemble the different parts of the car. You must have seen some mega factories in the car manufacturing, right from the very basic things, how exactly the different things get assembled, right? Then tracking of the failure along the railway tracks, right? So this is also one very important application nowadays. Suppose if there is any crack, right? Suppose if there is something wrong in the railway track, so how these things are being tracked, all those things are also coming under the applications of the machine to machine technology. Okay, so now in so far whatever we have discussed here is about the machine to machine technology with respect to IoT, right? So we started from, I will go back quickly from where we had started. Okay, so we started from somewhere uh, machine to machine to IoT. What exactly is the machine to machine to IoT? Then why it is required, right? So how exactly you embed the smart devices to make sure that the machine to machine communication is established without making use of the internet, right? Then the different protocols, I have already explained about these things, 6 low personal area network or something like that. These are the different we will not go into those details, right? And after that we have seen about the important difference between the machine to machine technology and that of IoT. Machine to machine technology never uses the internet, whereas IoT, internet is a major part there in your IoT, right? So then the application areas where exactly you make use of the machine to machine technology it with respect to the internet of things, right? So this is what we have seen here so far. Some of the examples are really very important, right? So then how you design the communication framework, what are the three different types of architectural point of views of your machine to machine communication with respect to the basic physical layer, with respect to the network layer, as well as the application layer. How do you realize these things in all the three layers? That also we have seen. So what are the different protocols? Just now I have made a mention about the protocols. And finally, how exactly you find the usage of machine to machine technology in your IoT applications. Some of the real-time examples I have already told you, but finally whether these examples really come under machine to machine communication, only a specific example should be able to tell you whether it makes use of the real M2M usage in the IoT scenario or not. Okay, so this is about the connected devices, right? So as you can see in your syllabus, the first part is the general introduction, the second one is the connected devices or the different components in your IoT. So this M2M is also one of the parts there in your IoT, right? So after this we will discuss about the reference models. This is where slowly we are coming into the protocols now, right? So far we have discussed about the general layered approach, right? And we have in general discussed about what are the different protocols, right? Now from next class onwards we will speak about what are the basic protocols which we follow, right? And how these protocols, or what we call as the reference models, these are referred to as reference models, right? What are the reference models we take here, and how do we modify these reference models as per our requirement to have our applications in IoT. So this is what we are supposed to see in our next class. And For all these things, okay, your OSI, that is called as Open System Interconnection. Open System Interconnection, OSI reference model. So this serves as the basic model, which we generally call it as OSI reference model. This serves as the basic model. This is one of the very important and primitive or the fundamental type of the reference models for all the communication protocols, right? So afterwards, depending upon our requirement, we have slightly modified these reference models as applicable to our requirements, and in the next class onwards we will discuss about the first we will, though it is not there in your syllabus, it is a prerequisite for me to discuss about the other reference models for your IoT scenario. First, let me give you a brief introduction about what is OSI, then we will follow with the different reference models as per our requirement in the IoT. Okay, so now based on this, if you have any doubt, I will come live just right now. Okay, thank you.